The Destruction of Sennacherib is a dramatic and vivid poem by Lord Byron, first published in 1850. It draws on a biblical story from the Old Testament, recounting how the Assyrian king Sennacherib's powerful army was miraculously destroyed by divine intervention. The poem appears in Byron's Hebrew Melodies, a collection of lyrical pieces inspired by biblical themes and set to music. The poem is based on the events described in the second book of Kings, chapter 19, verse 35, in which the Assyrian king Sennacherib invades Judah and threatens Jerusalem. Despite his overwhelming military power, the Assyrian army is struck down in a single night by the angel of the Lord, saving the city without a single sword being raised in its defense. Byron's version of the story is notable for its energy, rhythm, and rich visual imagery. Written in anapestic tetrameter, a galloping, almost military rhythm, it echoes the movement of the advancing and retreating army, giving the poem a sense of urgency and drama. The poem opens with a striking image. The Assyrian came down like the wolf on the fold, and his cohorts were gleaming in purple and gold. This simile immediately presents the Assyrians as dangerous predators descending on their prey. Byron emphasizes their splendor and might, their shining armor, polished spears, and decorated horses. The army is presented as awe-inspiring, unstoppable, and seemingly invincible. But this might is short-lived. In the night, as they sleep in their tents, the angel of death strikes. The next morning the Assyrians are dead, like the leaves of the forest when autumn hath blown. Their power has vanished, and the silence left in their place is absolute. The poem ends with Sennacherib himself returning home in disgrace, his pride broken and his gods unable to save him. One of the central themes of the destruction of Sennacherib is the power of divine justice. Byron presents the destruction of the Assyrian army not as the result of human warfare, but as an act of God. The suddenness and completeness of their fall serves as a reminder of the limits of earthly power and the supreme authority of divine will. This leads to the second key theme, the fragility of human pride and military might. The Assyrians arrive in splendor and strength, but they are utterly destroyed in an instant. Byron highlights how temporary and unreliable such power can be. No matter how strong an army or how proud a king, all are powerless in the face of divine judgment. The poem also explores the theme of appearance versus reality. The Assyrians appear unstoppable, but their grandeur hides their vulnerability. There is also an underlying moral message about arrogance and hubris. Sennacherib, by threatening a holy city and defying God, brings about his own downfall. The poem becomes a cautionary tale, warning rulers and nations against overconfidence and impiety. Stylistically, the poem's use of rhythm and rich visual language gives it a sense of grandeur and immediacy. The regular, galloping meter mimics the march of the army and the pace of divine retribution. Byron's imagery of dying horses, silent tents, and fallen spears creates a powerful atmosphere of both awe and devastation. Although rooted in a biblical tale, the destruction of Sennacherib speaks to universal ideas about power, faith, and the suddenness with which fortune can change. It remains a striking example of romantic poetry engaging with religious themes while showcasing Byron's flair for drama and vivid storytelling.